another thing, I guess, personal life thing I want to expose on the World Wide Web to the whole, world. Um, you know, putting my business out there because it's just so great, right? I want to say that I have, great, we're recording, maladaptive daydreaming disorder. What is that? Well, you could look it up. I'll give you like 10 minutes. So I'm gonna just put this down and just, 10 minutes, all right? Bye. I'm not gonna do that. But I am gonna say basically like from my point of view, from what I had looked up when I was really trying to dig into it, like so many people say that people copycat when it comes to diagnosis. Like, if someone can't concentrate on the homework or they're like, every once in a while, or someone doesn't want to do their homework or puts it off, procrastinates or whatever, someone's like, oh, I have ADHD or ADD, whatever. And of course, someone who really has it is going to be like, no, it's not really the same thing. Kind of the same comparison with maladaptive daydream disorder, MDD. Um, this is like less commonly known. Okay, so the movie, what is it, like the life of Walter Mitty or the adventures of Walter Mitty, something like that. Well, like just based on like on the brief commercial like trailer for it I saw on TV, I had really no idea that that movie was about like someone who had it. Um, but maybe we want to talk about this is basically my folks or my home life people, my mom and like her fiance. They're basically watching like right now. They're watching that, and it's just it amazes me how I guess really disappoints me how they can watch that and like they're like, oh, I love like when he goes into his daydreams. I love his, how crazy they are, whatever. They laugh at it. It's entertainment. But no, that's real. Like that's real life. That's real everyday stuff, and it is. That stuff happens to me. Not as much as it used to. Sometimes it still happens pretty often. Within a week or even within just one day, within an hour. Really, within 10 minutes. I have so many daydreams, so many fantasies, I guess, if you will. And my mom used to be like, when I used to, well, when the one time I actually bucked up and I tried to tell her about this because it was really, really getting me. Like, it was really, I noticed it was really becoming a problem. It was really taking me away from everyday life. And then, of course, when I had depression, too. Well, when I had depression, I'm still depressive, I guess, to say. I still have it, definitely. I'm just trying to basically get along and do a lot better with it. But my experience of it, it's not as bad. I'm talking about MDD again. It's not as bad as it could be because I remember over the summer, and I actually read. Basically, MDD can be a heck of a lot worse when, yeah, you're bored and you have nothing to do. And this is the thing my mom used to throw in my face when I used to tell her, this is how it is for me. So, yeah, well, everyone daydreams. Everyone thinks about, where am I gonna go? What do I have to do next? Everyone like imagines things. I'm like, no, 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 no. It's not like that. It's not like for like 7 seconds. Like it's prolonged, like for a full 30 minutes. Like I'm gone. Full 30 minutes. Like I'm still aware of everything around me. Um, and I read actually that it's not like the common someone who's imagining what am I gonna wear today. They're imagining themselves in a certain outfit, or they're imagining um, certain scenario happening to them. I mean, like a quick 10 minutes, well, 10-minute, like 10-second scenario. No, it's like, they're so vivid, it's so real. I can cry during them. I can get so angry. Let's say there's a situation in my head going on. Maybe someone's like, oh, situation in your head. Crazy. No. I mean, I wouldn't. I'd say everyone's crazy in their own way. Everyone's crazy. Yeah, I am crazy, I guess. Whatever crazy is. One person's gonna say this means you're crazy, another person's gonna say it doesn't, and this means that you're crazy. I mean, whatever. I mean, definitions are so, fluid and yet like not valid at all, right? Because we make definitions. Um, we basically make what is, in a way, if you're following me. But really, it's so vivid to the point where I can cry. I can get angry to the point where I want to punch something. Like I'm thinking about something like even you can even like past memory. I'm literally like reliving it again. Or even something that hasn't even happened. I'm just imagining it happening. But for 20 minutes. I mean, literally, I lift up my head and 20 minutes has gone by because I've been so stuck in my head. And just like in that movie, Walter Mitty, and actually looked up that movie, and actually was based off of a poem. I'm guessing of a real life person. I don't know. Well, must have been because this is a real thing. MDD, it's real. But of course, there's a book from the book Stem the movie. There's also a poem about it too, or I guess a little section from the book about it. But yeah, I guess this was a real life person. This is something that actually happened. But I definitely know that when I'm talking about MDD, it's real. It exists, and it is different from schizophrenia because unlike schizophrenia or what's another one? What's another one like that? Schizophrenia. Hold on. Oh yeah. Unlike great, I'm recording. Unlike schizophrenia or Alzheimer's. Um, Unlike those two, Alzheimer's. Well, I'm gonna say schizophrenia. From my understanding of it, it's basically like you're literally back in a moment in time. Like you're literally there in a previous moment in time. Something that's happened to you. Maybe not always like a past moment, but whatever. Basically, the fantasy, the daydream that you're in, everything that goes on around you is irrelevant. You don't notice it. You're not aware because you're literally in that moment you're in some other place. And everything else around you, unlike MDD, like I know when I still do it sometimes, like it just no, I don't want it to happen. I don't snap my finger and say, okay, take me away. Natasha Bedingfield, right? A secret place. Really? No. And now I'm thinking Easy A, like that scene where she's like, I got a pocket full of sunshine. She's just in the shower, like. Anyway, yeah. It's not like I want it to happen. I swear, sometimes it comes on its own. I'm never in class like, oh, I wanna, okay. I don't care. X, Y plus Z. I don't know. I'm in math class. X, Y plus Z, W, Q. I don't know. Let me go over here. No, it just happens. Um, yeah, of course it gets in everyday today life because it does make doing my homework or whatever a bit harder because I don't even realize when it happens. It just happens and suddenly it's like I come back or let's say because I said I'm still aware. I'm completely still aware of everything else around. Let's say I was doing my homework, doing some kind of typing a paper, whatever on the computer, and then suddenly I don't know I'm at like a library somewhere. Uh, I guess metaphorically, mentally, right? But since it's so real, it's like I literally am. But let's say, you know, um, an alarm goes off, a car alarm goes off. I mean, that brings me back like that. I mean, I hear that. I hear it's not like with schizophrenia or Alzheimer's where you don't. Well, I guess Alzheimer's mainly like memory loss, or whatever. But schizophrenia too, memory loss. But MDD can also stem, and it can basically aid, and it can push your mind even further to the danger of possibly having schizophrenia or Alzheimer's because basically it does messes with your brain. Duh, it all does. It has to do with your brain. Mental. Obviously, it has to do with your brain. And I guess when things like this, NDD or even depression or anxiety, when it's prolonged, ADHD, whatever, when any kind of seems like almost any kind of mental thing or um, you know, that you have when it's prolonged, it can lead to schizophrenia. In other words, more memory loss or Alzheimer's, where you really really start to not be all there. If you understand, like mentally, like anyway, whatever. Yeah, like I said, I mean, my experience with it is very real. Less frequently, I'd say definitely than over one summer. Like this past summer, like 2 summers ago, I remember. I swear, I would be in my bed, quiet room by myself. And I'd be awake. It's not like when you first get up, right? I'd be awake. And I'd just be laying there daydreaming. Like I said, I wouldn't be aware that it was happening either. It just, I guess, come over me or take over me or whatever. And in the middle of it, or even like in the very beginning of it, I try to snap myself out of it, right? I'm like, no, stop. Like, I've been laying here like for 30 minutes, like, I don't want to daydream anymore. Like, what's going on? And I'd sit up, right? And then I guess I start thinking about something else. And then suddenly I'm in another daydream. I'm talking to someone else. And, oh, that's another thing. If I'm talking to someone, my daydream, it is very easy. And this is the part, like, where some people, they're like, whoa, man. That's creepy. Yeah, I guess. And, another aspect, you can say it is. But if I'm talking to someone, having a conversation, like if I'm in my head laughing with my friends or whatever, or I'm supposed to be dancing with my friends, it's like I'm literally there. So on the outside, I'm literally talking as if they're there. And that's that kind of stuff that, like, even though I don't mean any harm, and like I said, I'm completely aware of everything around me. It's not like I'm talking to someone and let's say I'm walking with that person like in my head and like I walk into the wall. No, because I still see the wall in front of me, I'm still aware. It's not like we're schizophrenia where you know. But I will say the only time that it really, and I can say from my personal experience, I'm not saying anyone else I've seen or anything else that I've heard. No, my personal experience, to where I know that it does get out of control and it is kind of scarier in a sense. In cases where I feel like I have less control, like I said, if I'm walking with someone like in my head or talking to someone, it's not like, let's say we're stepping down like steps and let's say it's like a really high bed that in reality I happen to be perched on and, I basically fall down, or something like that because even though in my head I was, just going down one step, a very short distance, um, I don't even know. Like, oh, I got lost in my own example. I don't even know where I am anymore. But I don't even know where I am, Um, but I will say the only cases where it is a bit scarier and it's a bit too real, I guess, and possibly dangerous for me. Like I said, not instances where I'm crying because I know like if something sad is going on like in my head, or I'm reliving a very sad moment, you know, like I like in my head, like there's images or I'm imagining someone very close to me getting hurt. Yeah, I start crying on the outside too. But like I said, the cases where it's even more serious and possibly scarier to anyone else who just suddenly walks in, and that's another thing. I hear the sound of the door if someone's walking in. I'd hear the sound of the knob turning, which means someone's going to come in. And of course, I quickly stop or whatever, or like act normal again. Like I don't know. And again, that's another thing like brings me back. Other people, other sounds around me. It's like, oh yeah, I was daydreaming. But then again, like it comes on so frequently, I don't even notice it. And it only takes like certain things around me in reality to draw me back and be like, oh man, what was I doing? God, I gotta stop doing that. I gotta stop daydreaming so much. That's how it was over the summer. I swear for hours and hours. I'd just be laying there in the bed, or I try to sit up I'd sit up every once in a while, but you see, I ended up thinking about something else again. And then let's say I come out of it, like I snap myself out of it, out of the daydream, and then I'm like, okay, in reality, I'm like, okay, no, I'm not gonna keep doing this. I'm not gonna like, I'm hungry. It's been 2 hours already. And I try to like walk to the bathroom and brush my teeth. On the way to the bathroom, it just literally walking there, it's something else starts. Or if I get into the mirror to brush my teeth, suddenly I am like, I imagine, and again, not on purpose, but I imagine that someone else is sitting behind me, like a friend, and we're talking. And a simple, like, 5 minute brushing of teeth, or whatever, brushing my teeth goes like 20 minutes, just basically talking to myself in the mirror in the bathroom. Because in reality, in real life, if someone were like in the bathroom with you, there's a mirror in front of you, you brush your teeth or whatever. And in reality, you do stop every once in a while, stop brushing your teeth, or you prolong it entirely and, you talk to them. But in reality, if someone were to come in, or if someone were to have a camera in there watching me, all they would see was me talking to my own reflection. And I understand that's the kind of stuff that like people, they make out to be like you need to be injected and you need to be like locked up and straight jacket and everything, like you're harmful. Like I said, unless like an angry thing happens, angry thing, like something that make me mad. I know there have been instances where I get so angry at something that's happening, in there. I do. I'm crying because I'm so frustrated, and I'm gritting my teeth, like I'm biting my teeth like really hard, and I start like almost starting to yell, cause in that moment, like it's so intense, like it is so real. It's so real. It's really happening. I'm really mad in that moment. Like let's say someone's in my head, someone's coming at me, trying to fight me, saying, this is what they'll do. They'll f me up or whatever. My mom like, come on then, bring it. I'm sitting there trying to defend myself, and let's say that, in my head, this person actually comes at me, and they hit me. Well, then guess what? I hit them back. I swing. In reality, I'm sitting there flinging my arms and stuff too. But see, like I said, if someone were to have a camera, it would just look like, and this is like where labels come in like crazy, you know? It would just look like I'm a crazy person or something. No, I don't mean any harm. Like I said, if someone actually, like in reality, like if I'm so wrapped up and involved like in this daydream of mine, number one, I would be like, unless I'm really comfortable with that person, I've told them, look, I have this. This happens to me. Sometimes this happens, and I'm sorry. Unless I was close to that person and they actually knew, um, you know, I'm pretty sure, I wouldn't snap out of it as often. But someone completely random, stranger to me, I didn't know, of course, I wouldn't let myself, or it wouldn't happen as easily because I'm not, because that person in the room who doesn't know about this, who I'm not as comfortable with, or haven't told, of course, basically the stranger, they're a distraction, So like my mind is already preoccupied. And you could say, well, if this is just something that really stems from boredom, well then why don't you just find like a Rubik's Cube or something to, find a puzzle or watch TV or something. No, no. But see, that's another thing. It even happens when I'm watching TV. And I'm not just, well, okay. Yeah, like between the commercials, it happens so often. And then I come back and I miss like 3-5 minutes of the show because I was so gone. Even if I'm like really into that show, you know? Anyway, that's the only instances where I didn't mean to make this so long. But I mean that, and I mean, I'm just saying daydreams are very real. Like you're actually there. But it's not like schizophrenia. Like these are my experiences. Like they're really real. But it's not like schizophrenia where I'm not aware of, sounds, like sudden sounds or people around or movement around me. It's not like if I'm like in New York and I'm daydreaming, I'm gonna walk into like traffic and get hit. But someone who's schizophrenic, they may. You see? Because they're so wrapped up, even more so. Even though the daydreams do get pretty intense. Like I said, I'm not like a dummy. Sometimes it may feel that way because, like I said, I'm so wrapped up in it, and then I finally come back down to earth, you know, metaphorically, like I snap out of it or whatever, and then I'm like, oh wait, what was I doing? I don't even remember what I was doing. I'm in the kitchen like with a knife, like making a sandwich and all. Next thing I know, I'm just standing there like with a knife in my hand. Or okay, I don't mean to make it seem like that. Like, okay, I know I'm like, but some people, like, as soon as I said it, they're like, oh god, like that's not good, like keep them away like from like weapons or whatever. But you know what I mean, like a knife, like I'm spreading mayonnaise like on a sandwich, and that simple task that should have taken like maybe a minute or two. I've been standing there with that knife in my hand with mayonnaise on it, that at this point has probably fallen to the ground, slopped off or whatever fell off. And, I've been sitting there for about 8, 15, 20 minutes. Or, I know there have been some times where, there are other times like where I find myself just talking aloud. I don't mean because, of MDD, but like occasionally, yeah, there are like tons of people who just do that. Or they come into a room, okay, okay, what do I need? Oh, okay, I need this. Dang it, we're out of this. I mean, like plenty of people do that. I do that, I know, because I'm trying to get things together in my head. I'm trying to get everything together. But I know with MDD, like I said, I do have dialogue in here, so that is transparent in reality. Sometimes I'm talking and I'm trying to talk very low because I know I don't want anyone to hear me, and then I turn around and someone was behind me the whole time. And they're like, who are you talking to? And it's like, it's like an awkward thing for me. I was like, oh, well, I don't really know what to say. So in that instances, don't just think like we're, people with MD or whatever, MDD, like we're just weirdos and we need to be locked up. Like it's hard for us too trying to deal with this. It is. But back to Walter Mitty. It just doesn't make me feel good how when I tried, like, this is a real thing. And everything that I've said right now about how real it is, and all the emotions that come on that are just as strong, crying and anger and frustration and confusion and whatever else, affection even. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that, but anyway, I want to talk about that, like, it, anyway, um like romantic affection. I'm not gonna get into that, like how real that can get. um all this stuff is very real and it does affect me. But it's like as soon as anyone tries to step forth and actually say something about it, who actually has this, who actually experiences it, you're crazy. You need to be locked up. But yet they make a movie about it. And everyone, like, well, not everyone, but I guess few people like my home life people right now, they can laugh at it. Oh, oh, that's so funny. Oh my god. But it's like, I mean, but it wasn't that easy breezy. It wasn't that carefree for me though. When I came to you with a real concern, when I was telling you, look, I don't like this, and I don't like how out of control it's getting. I don't like how it's really affecting my life. Like I said, for hours and hours over the summer, there would be like days. I'm not saying like for a day straight, but like most of the hours within a few days, I remember, of the summer. I'm not saying like, back to back, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. No, no, no. But, Monday, maybe Thursday, maybe Tuesday of the following week, maybe Wednesday, and then maybe Friday. It would happen so often. And then and like those few days within the week, yeah, I would basically spend the whole day in bed. And even though I had to, use the bathroom or I wanted to eat, it's like I was so lost in my daydreams. You know, I would come back to reality, come back to reality, to reality, and I'd be like, my stomach would be rumbling. I'm like, well, yeah, I haven't made that sandwich yet. Like, shoot, I was gonna make that sandwich like an hour ago. Where the heck did what happened? But see, because it happens so often or so fast, out of my control, it's not really like my fault. Maybe someone thinks that's like a really wimpy way of just getting out of it. Like maybe someone's like, oh, if you say, something like this isn't your fault, you can say like, pedophilism isn't their fault, and they're just born that way, and they can't do anything about how they feel. Or you rapists, we can just let rapists get away with it. Or we can just let people, murderers get away with things, or people who rob, or whatever else. I wouldn't take it that far though. Some of the things have other reasons and other levels to that as well. So, I mean, it's kind of, I don't know, I think that's like, what is it? Slippery slope. That's what it's called. Like when you take one thing and where you kind of, it's like a domino effect. Oh, if you say this and this must lead to this and this means that and this leads to that and this and then suddenly the whole world explodes. No, no. Those are different things. They have different levels. And I mean, I guess I can talk about those too, like in a different video or whatever, but how I feel about things like that. But, but or abortion or whatever else. But I will say right now, I guess, to end the video with a topic that has no connection whatsoever to what I really started talking about, which was MDD, maladaptive daydreaming disorder, which most people don't really know about. I guess I'll just I guess I also just want to basically say that my mother, she wasn't supportive. Like she didn't believe like for a second what I was saying. She thought it was nonsense. And I was like, okay, well, thanks. I mean, I just tried to come to you and say, look, this is a real problem. I know I have. I'm just telling you about it, so maybe you can help work with me on how to fix it. Maybe you can get someone else involved to talk with me about it, or just make it go away. But no, none of that happened. It was basically just ridiculous mumbo jumbo. Her, she don't want to hear it. She was like, oh, you're just diagnosing yourself. You don't have that, and there's nothing like that. It makes no sense. But yet here she is, like right now, still watching a movie about that stuff, and it's made to be entertainment. It's made to be funny. People laugh at that, but yet they don't want to really acknowledge it in real life, unless like some kind of tragedy happens, like some kind of suicide case or homicide with someone who happens to have that, and then it's like the tragedy of the world, tragedy of North America, right? It's like some big sympathetic news story, and suddenly that's the only rare time I'm going to add where something like this can be credited. you know that's the only kind of representation we get. Or when it's about like some kind of news broadcast about people like us being crazy and being thrown into straitjackets and drugged up and everything like that, and like psycho wards. I like that's what people like us have to look forward to in life, huh? Because we're crazy, right? I said, I'm not harmful to anyone. I mean, like, even though I get so frustrated, like sometimes in my daydreams, in a situation where, let's say, I am angry, or my life is being threatened and I'm defending myself, like I said, that physically comes out too sometimes. I try not to let it, but sometimes it does. If someone's in front of me or someone's approaching me, no, it's not like I'm so gone from the actual reality of the moment that I actually punch them. No, no. Maybe someone's like, how do you know? I know. I know. Not just because it's never happened before, but I know. So I'm not that gone. Even though it's really realistic and it's pretty intense sometimes, I'm not that gone. Because unlike Alzheimer's and schizophrenia, I'm still aware of everything around. Anyway, uh, just to end this video, something that had nothing to do at all with the topic. I'm pro-choice. I'll talk about like my ideas more on abortion, I guess, in like another video, but whenever I feel like it, whenever it crosses my mind, and a lot of things cross my mind at different times. So to end it, I'm gonna say I'm pro-choice. Weird video ending.